What's going on? A whole lot, isn't it? Um, man, what a week. What a week. Who feels like they are ready for 2020 to be over? Hey, Gino, who feels like they're ready for 2020 to already be over? Man, it's a super intense week. And you guys, I need you to know, first of all, drop a one if you're watching this live, drop a two if you're watching the replay, and drop a three if you're new. You're new to this stream, and maybe somebody tagged you below or shared this out with you. But I've been feeling compelled to come live and to talk to you about what's going on out there and how there is so much uncertainty and fear. And may I just ask you for a question? Hey girl, what's going on, Nicole? I'm curious, and I've been asking everybody this around me and in our programs. How are you feeling today? How are you feeling today? And drop a word below. I want to know how you're feeling. And if there's two words or three, that's okay too. And the reason why I'm asking you how you're feeling today is because in the course of a day, does it not feel like the emotional roller coaster can be kind of like this? Anybody else agree? There's a lot going on in the world right now. There's a lot going around us individually. I'm in Seattle, the epicenter of all the crazy. And I'm curious, how is it where you are? How is it where you are? And let us know where you are as well, because that gives me a really good picture of what's happening around the country, around the world. I know my business partner and dear friend Satori Mateo, we had some of our clients out in Sweden, and when they left, or out in Cyprus, where we have some of our business operations, and they were leaving and they got quarantined in Sweden for 2 weeks. So that's kind of crazy. I had a trip planned to Mexico on Saturday that I decided would be completely irresponsible to go on. And you're staying strong. I love that. Hey, Debbie, so good to have you, love. So yeah, drop a word about how you're feeling. And here's what I'm also curious to know. Has your sales site shut down yet? Has it shut down yet? And this may come across as a little controversial initially, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. And here's why I think there's a huge disservice being done to the world right now. And it's because of people and businesses and entities who are acting out of selfishness and wanting to make an extra dollar, an extra sale prior to having to close down. And I get it. The world functions with money. I completely get it. But when you put your team and your sales professionals and your executives and your coworkers, it's usually coming from the top down. That's where it comes from. It's never the sales reps like, oh, I'd love to be exposed to all of these people all day. No, it's coming from the top down. And I'm not calling out any companies by name. The site level would like to close because they also don't feel comfortable with the 1 to 2 or 3 tours that are coming in. And before I go into, so Debbie, let's see what's saying. You're closing on Monday? Yeah, well, I can't tell you how many offices that I've already heard of that have somebody who's been in the sales office who has or had, probably some of both now, coronavirus. That's very reckless. It's very reckless. And yeah, I'm in the epicenter of it, and some of it's here and some of it's not. Some of it's in California and some of it's in other places of the country and world. And we have a dear member of our team who, this whole thing became really real to me. I'll just admit to you guys, I just wanted to come on here and talk to you and give you a little bit of, just open up communication when it comes to how you're feeling. because how you're feeling matters, and I feel like a lot of you aren't being heard. And it's up to the leaders and influencers in this industry and other industries and all industries right now to step out of our own comfort zones and maybe your own comfort zones. Because trust me, I was just telling another one of my groups in a Facebook Live, I'd rather be hanging out with Diego and maybe just drinking wine right now, or one of my mushroom elixirs. So, but I'm here, and it's not comfortable. I'm not, feeling 100%, because there is a collective weight of the collective consciousness right now, meaning the entire world is feeling heavy. Who agrees? And if you are human, you feel it. If you're human, you feel it. So Gina, you're closed. Jackie, you're from Australia. Hey Jackie, are you guys, you might not, I don't know if you're still in the industry. Let me know, guys. Hey Sean, what's up, man? I'm curious whose offices are open and whose offices are closed. And if you know when they're closing, let us know. And then I'm also curious how you're feeling today. Like the 1, 2, 3 words that you're feeling today. And what I keep hearing a lot of is uncertain and concern for the state of the industry. And I'm hearing a lot of worry and fear. Not only are people worried and fearful of, contracting the coronavirus, it's a real thing. And I was just saying, one of our amazing, incredible team members, mother of his child, 5-year-old child, is on life support at 30-ish. I don't know the exact age. And, they had to say goodbye to, oh man, this is like so uncomfortable. But I'm telling you, because I want you to know it's not just old people. It's impacting and affecting everyone, first of all. And it's important that you do your part and that you talk to your leaders to do their part, because we need to shut down right now. And that is called social responsibility. It's called social responsibility. Each of us has an obligation. Let me know if you agree, because I get it. Hitting top bonus this month, and I have clients who are on the verge of top bonus, or they're right there. They're like, one more deal would have done it. But some of those very same clients, one of them in particular's husband, we think just got diagnosed. Are you kidding? Or is getting to be diagnosed? Hopefully not. Hopefully it's negative. But it's scary, and now it's quarantine. So we have to do our part, guys, and it's unfreaking comfortable. It doesn't feel good. It feels heavy, but we have to do our individual role. And it feels like a ghost town in Vegas. Seattle feels like a ghost town. I can't even imagine what Vegas feels like. So you guys are all shut down in Vegas. You're okay at the moment out in Australia. Got it. HGVC, Waikiki open. Hey Elise, hey hon, how are you? I mean, you named your company, but there are more than just that company who's being extremely irresponsible right now. And I know I keep saying this, but this is not a joke. I really did take it lightly until it started impacting more than one person in my circle. In my business now, we have employees and team members whose significant others and people in their lives whose children are about to lose their mother. God hope this did not happen today, but the hours were crucial and critical, and I'm going to find out. And I don't say this to scare you, but I say this proactively. And I was at the yesterday, walking down. It's a gorgeous day out in Seattle. I had to get out, and should I put it on right now? It's my protection. And people are just walking around like nothing, breathing each other's air. You guys know that they're saying that, not that they really even know, that this virus can live in the air for 3 hours. So elevator, even passing somebody, we just don't know. We have to do our part. And so here's the difference. Like, for those of you who are concerned, anybody concerned, or, I'm feeling it on other, is anyone concerned? And so I was on a call with I lead a mastermind of the industry's Timeshare's top 1%, all females. We kick the men out. No, just kidding. We love our women in there, and it's just a beautiful, what we call sacred sisterhood of the Timeshare's top 1%. And one of the ladies in the group started, rightfully so, expressing massive concern. I asked her to describe 3 words of how she's feeling right now. It was, I believe, disconnected, fearful. There was one other word I can't remember. And those were heavy words. And then we had another amazing rock star who will probably be on this here shortly, out of Cabo, whose site's still open, and maybe Cabo in Mexico hasn't been hit, and that's great, and they shut all the gringos out, which is perfect. We don't need to be down there infecting Mexico. But she just kind of took over and said, this industry is going to be fine. She'd been in the industry, Trudy, for I think 17 or 20 years. Correct me if I'm wrong, Trudy, by the time you watch this. And she said, I have seen it all. I have seen it all and been through major economic downturns and quote unquote recessions, which they are recessions. And look, the signs are on the wall, right? Stock market's all over the place. Some people think that this is actually a quote unquote cover up for what's really happening in the financial world. There's all kinds of theories, speculations, and conspiracies out there. I've got my own, certainly do. I do, about where this came from and why it's happening now. But the reality is it's still happening, and it's a real virus. I'm telling you that because I know. And totally feels heavy. Hey, Dina. Hey, love. Gosh, so good to have all you. Chad, feels heavy. Got to be responsible in self-quarantine, absolutely. And Trudy gets out and says, with this completely different energy, and says, I have been here before. The industry is totally fine. Look at the benefits of this right now. What are the gifts that we are experiencing? And I know, and I say that with all due respect to anybody who is suffering through anything related to coronavirus right now, okay? Completely, because of it's hit home already. It's hitting home. But what are the benefits of times like this? What are the gifts of times like this? And maybe you even want to drop some of them below, because there are gifts. And when Trudy just spoke out about how we are strong, this is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and I want you guys to know that. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry. It is going to survive. It is going to thrive. Now, I don't know when you guys got started. Drop your year that you got started. I got started in 2009. And about 4.5 months after I got started, I was laid off from the company. They closed 100 sales offices down. Well, during those 4 or 5 months, I did really well. It was brand new. Didn't know anything, just did well in between hitting a wall and then coming out of it. When I came back to the industry a few months later and started working from a sales office, I did incredibly well. Not only did I hit President's Club my first year, full year, but I hit President's Council, meaning #1 rep. And then every single year after that, in that current year as well, making multiple 6 figures a year. When a lot of people in the industry, especially old veterans who had seen it and been there before, who only thrived when the economy was thriving, shriveled up and didn't have jobs. So what differentiates the small subset, like this small subset of people? By the way, tag somebody who needs to hear this below. Anybody you know who's in fear, or somebody who's at your sales site, let's get this out, because I'm going to share with you what I'm going to give you all for being here. And actually, maybe I'll just tell you right now, for those of you who for some reason have to hop off, we're doing something really beautiful for each of you. And because of the fear, and then I'll go back into what I was saying, because of the fear, because we know I need to help, and we need to help as leaders, as people in our industry and in the world who can help shift and create change. So my team and I decided, for the first time ever, we are going to give away our top bonus challenge that starts on the 22nd for virtually nothing, a single dollar. A single dollar. In fact, it's going to be costing me, I'm going into the red, because we are spending thousands of dollars to get the word out to across the industry that this is where they need to be, because we want to help. And so you can access that at toplevelbonus.com, by the way. Laid off in 2009. You get it, Chad. Maybe one of ours could be perhaps the same company. But toplevelbonus.com, toplevelbonus.com, and I'll tell you why, even if for those of you who are not working, why that's important for you, and there's a code because we want to start spreading love and not fear. So the code is spread love at checkout to get it for just $1. But why we're doing it, and then how we're going to change the Top Bonus Challenge this time around as well. Well, we're doing it because there's so many people who are really at effect. We talked about that in the challenge. There's two different places you can be. You can be at effect, which is coming up with reasons and excuses why your life is the way it is and why you don't have the money that you don't have and why your relationships are the way they are, and we often blame when we're at effect, versus being at cause where we own and take ownership of everything. And many of you are saying, well, what did I have to do with this? And I'll tell you what, maybe you didn't consciously have anything to do with this, but at some level, when we begin to choose to be at cause for everything in our life, we believe that maybe we didn't consciously choose it, but at some level we unconsciously chose it, individually and collectively, to create this. So what are the benefits of it right now? And those are how we choose to be at cause is only when we choose to be at cause, rather, is only when our life can then begin to shift. And so I'm on a mission right now to help people in this industry not believe that it is not over, that it is just beginning. And I want you to think back. So Chad was just talking about the recession in 2008, 9. We all experienced it in some level, but I shouldn't even say we all, because there are, like I said, the small subset of people, Chad, I know you were one of them, and myself, who thrived during this quote unquote downturn. There were more millionaires made in 2008 and 2009 than in probably 20 years past. Why is that? What is it that those people are doing that the others are not? What is it that people who are making more money ever in a down economy, in a recession, are doing? Well, I'll tell you what they're doing in a down economy is that they are prepping, they are equipping themselves, and they are preparing for when, for example, for you guys, the doors open again and you're back at work, right? So when people, if we look at the current state of affairs, like there's two different states. There's the current state where we are right now, what's happening now. And the current state is massive hysteria, right? News media, it's okay. I mean, there's validity behind it, and they're going to do the job that they do, and it often instills getting people to come back and watch what they're saying. And so there's a lot of fear, and a lot of you are hooked into it. There's the current state of affairs is massive panic right now. It's things shutting down. It's the airports closing. It's borders shutting. I mean, not airports closing, but countries closing their borders. Oh, I think our state is about to close its borders. We have the National Guard in here in Washington. There's resorts and hotels closing. So that's current state, right? And sometimes you have to take those precautions in order to be prepared and quote unquote proactive, which we're a bit reactive right now. But then there's the future state, guys. And the future state is a very different type of state. So the future state is when we return to normal. It's when we return to normal. It's when flights will reopen and borders of countries open and people start traveling again. Who do you think is going to be traveling first? People who have to pay for their vacations in hotels and Airbnbs, or those who own their vacations and can hop in their car and drive a couple states, or hop in a plane and all they have to do is buy their ticket, and sometimes not even that. It's timeshare. Timeshare owners will travel first. Timeshare owners will fill the resorts when everybody else in the town, meaning all the other hotels, I don't know what hotels are called anymore, the Best Westerns and the Westons to the Marriotts I heard there was a 3% occupancy in Orlando at the Marriott. Marriott Weston. I don't know. Well, one of those hotels. Maybe I shouldn't say the name. Get blacklisted. But last week, that's impacting an entire industry. But at some point, the future state will change, right? People are going to begin to get more confident. They're going to start spending money. And I want you to know that people are spending money now. They're spending money now, but they're spending money on different things. And the reality is that your tours will start increasing very soon. And so the question becomes, what are you doing? What are you doing to get ready? What are you doing to get ready? Because those of you who are preparing your mind, preparing your presentations, preparing your skill set, fine-tuning that skill set now as opposed to binge watching Netflix. I'm sure a lot of people are doing that. I even watched half the show last night and I was like, turn that off. It's natural while drinking a glass of wine, but it's where are you spending the majority of your time right now? Are you spending the majority of your time on growing you or on contracting right now? Because there are two different things, one of two options that you have. You have the option of expansion right now or contraction. And every single decision and every single choice that you make is one of either of those, one of expansion or one of contraction. And do you think that being at effect and blaming your site for closing down or blaming coronavirus for doing its thing or blaming the president or blaming whoever there is to quote unquote blame, Democrats, Republicans, whoever, everybody wants to blame somebody. What if we could just stop all that mess and just begin now to take ownership? The economy will only affect you if you believe that it will. The economy will only impact you if you believe that it will. Coronavirus will only impact you financially and the impacts of it, right? I get it. You're not getting tours right now. So this is a temporary setback, nor can you control that. But if you look at the long-term implications, it will only affect you if you believe that it will. And I say that to you with knowing the uncontrollables, because there's a lot that you cannot control right now. I get that. The reason this fear is so off the charts with people right now is because we feel like we've lost control. We feel like we've lost control. Do you agree with me? Do you feel like you've lost control? And for people who, I don't know, something about our industry makes me think that we're very much control freaks, especially those who are good in this industry. We like to have control. But when we feel like we've lost control, we seek control. And it's very hard to find right now. But guess what you can control? You can't control what's shut down, what stores don't have food or meat or eggs or toilet paper or all the other crazy crap that's going on right now. You can't control that. But you can control what you're feeding this. And you can control how you show up. And you can control your interactions with your family. And you can control your interactions with other people. And you can control even if you're walking down the street and not having conversations with people, you can still, or coming close to them, you can still smile. And you can still spread love and spread joy and help somebody just by you smiling. Something changes within them physiologically if they really connect with your smile and see it. It shifts something within inside people. And we need to stop spreading fear. We need to start being prepared. If you have not started, preparation is key and crucial. And operating out of the greater good as opposed to self-interest. We need to protect our families and ourselves, but we need to look at our neighbors as well and see who else needs help right now. There are a lot of people struggling. I heard God, I don't even know what the word is, an alarming statistic. An alarming statistic the other day. It was a congressman or a house person grilling someone in Senate. I'm not sure what it was exactly. But it said 33% of the US population does not even have $400 additional to their name. Guys, I don't know about you, but that's alarming to me. It's alarming, and it shows, number one, that the system is not here to save you. The system will not save you. No bill that they pass, no nothing that they do is here to save you. It will not save you. Guess who is going to save you? You. The only person that can save you is you. I was impacted in 2008 when I lost a business because I didn't know how to control my mind and how to pivot at that time. How to pivot, because right now it's about sometimes just making small micro tweaks to our system, to our process, to our mind in order to thrive. And I didn't know how to do that at the time. I had just been exposed to the world of self-development, personal development. I didn't know how to shift my mind. And yeah, everyone will need a vacation after this. Absolutely. Thank you, Jackie. Appreciate you. Everyone, I didn't know how to shift my mind. And I started learning how to do that. And thank God I found Timeshare. And then people say, well, if you really want to learn how to grow, start your own business. You will drastically or exponentially increase your level of growth within a very short period of time. Who knows what I mean by that? Because you're not only managing yourself, you're managing the responsibility of team, you're managing the responsibility of your clients and the people who you help in the world and the impact that you have. And it's a lot. So I have grown a tremendous amount from Timeshare, for those years I was in Timeshare, and in the last 5 years that, just under, that, actually no, almost 5, that I've been in a business owner, an entrepreneur. But the difference between those who are going to really suffer from this and those who thrive are those who lean in right now. Lean out of fear, out of their minds and into their hearts, and become conscious creators right now. And lean into growth. See, there's a concept about fixed mindset versus growth mindset. Majority of the world has a very fixed mindset. They think that they came to this earth with all of the things that they have and that the life happens to them. They don't believe that, all the intelligence, all the, things happen to me as opposed to for me. A growth mindset person believes that they can grow and change and that they're constantly malleable and able to learn more and adapt and get to the next level of whatever it is, and that what they were born with does not mean that's what they're capped at. And so when you have a growth mindset, seeking knowledge, you're seeking how to be better. Your presentation is never dialed. Your words out of your mouth are never perfect. There's always a new level of excellence that is above that. And that's what people with growth mindsets have. And so I challenge you right now to ask yourself, who are you being during this time? Because what is within you right now, what is within all of us, is being squeezed. It's being squeezed so much that what is within us is coming out of us. It's coming out of us. And here's what I mean. If you are an angry person, you are being squeezed right now. And I promise you, anger is coming out. And it is impacting those around you. If you are a loving person, there is love that is coming out of you, exuding out of you, because you are being tested, you are being squeezed right now. And it's coming out. I'm not saying you don't have moments of fear. I don't say you're not having moments of uncertainty. Of course, we're all in this together. Not one of us is better than another at all. We're all on this journey together. But if you are a very fearful person, then I promise you right now, you are really experiencing a lot of fear. And it's an opportunity for you. It's an opportunity. If you don't like where your bank account is, if you don't like, if this scares the crap out of you right now, if this scares you so much because you don't know how you're going to pay rent, you don't know how you're going to pay your bills, you're not alone. I want you to know that you're not alone. There are millions of people in the country like you. But my question to you is, does that make you feel better? Probably not. And the next question is, what if you could do something about it? What if now is the time for you to shift? What if now is the time for you to begin your journey of growth? What if now is the time for you to begin mastering this? What if now is the time that you get out of fear, that you shift out of that place of panic and fear and helplessness and continuing to loop the thoughts that got you to where you are in the first place? And begin to now believe that there's a better way of being, that you can also learn because you have or are adopting a growth mindset, that you can learn how to be different. Because when you be somebody who's confident, when you be someone who is self-assured, when you be someone like Trudy Lieb, who's on here watching now, I was talking about you earlier, Trudy, who's just enjoying the time. She's cooking, she's playing piano, she's playing, doing all of the lovely things in Cabo. When you be that person and trust that I'm going to be okay, because you've put in the time to master your skills, you've put in the time to master your mind, and you continue to put it in because the journey doesn't end. But when you commit to knowing that somebody else over there knows how to be different. And how do you know that? Because they have different results. And when that person over there that you see making hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars a year, who is not fazed by this at all, who is prepared, who is allowing themselves to connect with the benefit of now, the benefit of being able to be with family, benefit of being trapped and in their houses with their family or their loved one, whoever it is, significant others, kids, there are benefits to that. But if we're in so much fear and if we're paralyzed by our negative emotions, we'll never be able to experience and see the benefits of what's happening right now. And again, I say that with all due respect to those people who are seriously struggling and suffering because of someone impacted by coronavirus. And I get that because there are people close to me who are too right now. And you get a choice. By the way, is anybody getting anything out of this? Perhaps my Facebook is not updating me on your comments, or you're also commented out on all the other feeds. But tag somebody who needs to hear that. I was talking, Trudy, about you just a minute ago and sharing how your complete conviction in the industry and shifting, and that we're going to be okay, that we're going to thrive, we are going to make it through this. And yes, we talked about how changes will happen. Changes will happen. And will you be ready? Will you be ready? And for those of you who've been in the industry for a while, 2008, 2009, credit tightened, credit requirements shifted, a lot shifted. Not everybody could take presentations, and then they just opened it all up to anybody could tour after a few years, right? Couldn't give people, nobody could buy it. Before you could fog a mirror and sign your name, you were an owner. That changed, didn't it? And that has to change to protect our jobs, to protect your job, to protect the industry, to protect consumers, to protect everybody. There's a lot of really bad decisions that were being made. So those things are going to change, they're going to shift. But guess who has the opportunity right now to thrive? You guys know, when I talk about the opportunity that exists here with my team, who are not necessarily in the timeshare world, they are now by default, but who didn't come from the timeshare world, our director of sales, we have a lot of online courses and programs that help thousands of people from all across the world in timeshare. When our director of sales talks about this, he gets so passionate because he's like, do people get that their life can change in a single day by this industry? Do people get that by them fine-tuning their skills, by them working on their persuasion and influence skills, by them working on how to overcome objections and get people out of their fear and into their hearts, that can change not only their life, but other people's lives that have a ripple effect on the world? There is no other job out there, guys, I don't care what it is, not even Wall Street, that you can work this many hours. Some of you are working maybe a little bit longer or less right now, that you can work a very few limited hours. I think I work 25 hours a week if I was lucky, and make that kind of money. But why do 1% of the people make it? Because 99% of the people are not willing to do what the 1% do. 99% of the people are living at effect. They're coming up with reasons and excuses as to why they cannot. I can't do this now because. I can't have this now because. I have to wait until then because. And that's what keeps the cycle continuing and the cycle going of poverty forever. Generations to come. But you have to decide and believe that you can change it and that you can literally break it. And that this may be the best blessing that you have ever experienced in your freaking life. You may not quite see it yet, but I promise you, when you decide that it is, when you decide that this is a blessing to you, because everything is just the meaning that we give it. If you think it's the end of the world, it is. If you think it's a beautiful gift and a blessing, it is that too. It's up to you. And it's your opportunity and chance to rise up. Join us. I'm giving this to you. The Top Bonus Challenge. I am giving this to you. If you don't have tours, now's your time to get your mind right. If you don't have tours, now's your time to dial in your presentation. If you don't have tours or tour flow is low or your sales site is closed, now is your time to get a competitive advantage on everybody else. Now is your time to dial in your game so tight that that mindset that kept you broke or kept you hitting and missing, having one good month and 3 off months and 1 decent month and 4 off months, that is a thing of the past. I promise you, you can change. I know this because I changed. And I know that you can do this too. So rock stars, hey Sean Lynch, hey Derek, tag somebody in this who needs to hear this message. We are giving you access to the Top Bonus Challenge this month, whether you are working or not, for a measly, I don't even like to call it measly because I respect money. We talk about that, prosperity consciousness inside the challenge, for $1, $1. Every single person in this industry should be joining, whether you have tours or not, because we teach you the skills. We teach you the mindset of getting out of effect right now, of getting out of your mind and that feeling that you're feeling because of the coronavirus and the recession and your stores doing whatever they're doing, your sales sites doing whatever they're doing. We teach you how to set your mind up and to prime your mind to have an unstoppable day, whether you are going to work or not. We will teach you to find the blessing in all of this, because you might be thinking my words are crazy. And if you think what I'm saying about there being a blessing right now is a bunch of crap, well, then you need this more than anyone else, because there's a blessing in everything. And it's maybe in disguise right now, but it's there for you to find. And it's an opportunity for you to fine-tune your skills and your mind so that when those doors open to your office and when the tours start flooding in that future state, current state, less tours to no office, to no flights, to borders closed, to all that other crap that's happening. Future state, oh yeah, you better believe that's opening. And that if you're not dialed in and ready to go, you're going to be at the bottom of the board. And when very few tours start trickling in, guess who's going to be getting them? The people whose minds are right, the people whose skills and presentations are right, the people who get out there and start throwing down deals left and right. Those people are going to sit at the top of the board. And those people are going to continue to be at the top of the board, and they're not worried because they constantly do the mind work. And that's why they're the 1%. If now's your time to be a 1%er, do what the 99% are not willing to do. Invest into you. It's $1. We want to help you. We're going to make this very special challenge related to the top, all this craziness that's going on right now and how to get out of it and to focus on selling. If you're still selling, we have a combination of people who our sites are still open, which personally I believe is extremely irresponsible, but that's another subject. Not on the rep's behalf, but on people above. Unfortunately, we cannot control that, but you can control whether you go in or not. Nonetheless, now's your time to get your mind right so you can get your money right. Bottom line. If you believe this benefited you, tag. I encourage you to give the gift like I'm giving to you. My team are committed to getting this out to hundreds. We want thousands of people. We believe that every single timeshare rep in the entire world, 1%er or not, we've had hundreds of 1%ers come through this program, and they love it. And they make more money and more sales than they ever have. But this also is impacting families and children by learning what we teach in the Top Bonus Challenge. It's bigger than you can even imagine. Nobody's doing anything like it. Nobody is doing anything like it. And it's yours. For $1, join us. We start on the 22nd. Toplevelbonus.com. Cannot wait to have you inside. And you get to bring as many people, bring your tribe, bring everybody on your sales floor, and just tell them to join. And if you joined the Top Bonus Challenge before and you love it, make sure you tell us in here why you do. All right, everyone. You're amazing. I totally, completely believe in you and love you and know that you are capable of thriving during this time. Be safe. Take your precautions. And all the things that they say to do. You've heard them 4,000 times. And turn off the news. Feed your mind with something that's going to get your money right. Bye, everyone. Peace. Bye.